Welcome, guys, to another episode of Two Scoops Podcast. I'm your host, Dayton. Today's guest is not here in person. He's about 3,000 miles away in a town called Nunapachuk,
Very close.
Alaska.
Yeah.
Very close. I
Ve-
didn't butcher that.
Yeah, that's really good. Nunapachuk. So I got the ice fishing scoop ready to go and ready to talk about whatever you want.
Beautiful. Two
So
scoops at its finest.
yeah,
So, all right, man. Welcome, Bo Sahr. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm glad we got to do this.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
the first remote one we've done. First time using Riverside on my end, so yeah, it's going smooth. We did some test runs, but
yeah.
this is
No,
great.
I'm glad that we were able to make it work. I really wish I could have got into the ice castle with you. That would have been a lot of fun. I've been
Hey,
watching
man.
all the other podcasts, and maybe in the future we can make it work
Oh,
out.
absolutely,
So
absolutely. So yeah, hold on. Let me. I know I butchered it. How'd you say it again? Nunavutchuk?
Nunapachuk.
Nunapachuk. All
Yep,
right.
yep. So that's
So
about 400 miles west of Anchorage in southwest Alaska.
it's up there, man. And I was looking
Yep,
at like the Google Maps,
yep.
and there's like no roads in there. Like
No,
there's an
no.
airport, right?
Yep.
But that's it. Like, how do
Yeah,
you guys
so
get?
and we can get into all this, but basically, you have like two areas of I was going to say Wisconsin of Alaska, and you have like the road system, which is like Anchorage, Fairbanks. You can get in and out of Canada through the road system, and then you
Yep.
have rest of Alaska, which is kind of like their little own islands. And so you fly in from Anchorage to say Bethel, which is the hub of our region, or if you go to like Kotzebue north of us, or um,
Yes.
Utqiagvik, which is formerly known as Barrow, Alaska. So like they have these different hubs and everything, and then no roads in and out. You have to fly in, but a lot of the hubs do have their own little road system. But yeah, Alaska Air is the only way, and then there's some other like companies too, like Ryanair, a
Right.
whole bunch of different um,
Like charters
smaller
and stuff.
planes, yeah, charters that you can
Yeah.
get in and out of. So yeah, I do a lot more flying than I ever thought I would in my life, which is pretty
Lucky
cool.
dog.
Yeah, yeah, I was lucky until one time we had to make an emergency landing in Wisconsin, and I get nervous flying now, so but you get over it a little bit.
Right. So tell me how you got up there in the first place. Like, what made you move up there?
Yeah, so growing up in northern Wisconsin, hunting, fishing, that's what we're about. And so I went to University of Wisconsin Stevens Point, got my license, teaching license, and I'm certified science. And the year before my student teaching was going to happen, the spring before, we had a meeting, and um, it was our director of student teaching, and then someone from Lower Kuskokwim School District, where I work now with my wife. They were there for the meeting, and they said, "Hey, we're looking for teachers to come up and experience student teaching." And I saw Alaska, and I was sold instantly as soon
Yep.
as he, started talking about it. And so, in fall of 2016, got the opportunity to student teach in a different village. That village is called Tununic. And then my girlfriend at the time, current wife, she had the opportunity to student teach in a village called Kipnuk, and we really enjoyed our time so much. So we were asked by the time our student teaching was done if we would like to come back, and we're like, well, yeah, if there's a school that has an opening for both of us, we'd be willing. The tough thing is we're both certified science, so we had to get creative, and so
Oh.
I do like all the health and PE at our school,
Yep.
and then I do have a few science classes. I have like a survival skills class that I've been teaching for the last 8 years, which is awesome, a lot of fun. And then
That
my
sounds
wife does
cool.
all the yeah, she does all the science, which is really cool. And yeah, we said we'd try it for a year or two, and now we're on year eight and a half, and yeah, it's just crazy. It's been an awesome experience.
So up there, with it being so secluded, do you guys have like K through 12, like, or is it kind of like, is everyone grouped in to the same classrooms?
So yeah, we're in one of the biggest school districts in the state of Alaska. There's like 28 or 29 schools within our school district,
Yep.
and so some schools are like mixed grades like that, but we're in like the third or fourth largest school in our school district, and
Yep.
so we have K through 12. I teach secondary 6 through 12, and so does my wife, and we'll have a mixture of like seventh and eighth graders, and then in high school, depending on what credits the students need, I might have some 10th graders and 11th graders, or even sometimes freshmen with seniors, depending on the class that I'm teaching. But I've taught it all, man. I've taught like algebra, art, didn't know a single thing about art, figured that
Yeah.
out. Yeah, so
Finger painting?
yeah,
No, I'm
no,
kidding. I'm joking.
that's probably where we started, but
Yeah.
you figure it out, and it's
Right.
made me become a better teacher for sure. Just teaching things outside my content area, which keeps every day, different, which I really enjoy about my job.
Right. I was going to ask you
So
what your favorite subject to teach, but right when you said that survival thing, I'm guessing that's probably
yeah,
up there.
yeah, it's definitely up there. Just because honestly, I learn more from the students than they teach me. So just kind of about the traditional and cultural ways of living in this region of Alaska. And yeah, that's one of my favorite classes, ecology. I went to school for science and I have a bio minor, so I love the ecosystem, the environment, how things interact with one another, and so
Oh,
those are probably my
absolutely.
two favorite classes. And then um, yeah, I've enjoyed every minute of it, and it's been good to us for sure.
Do you guys use any special technologies with like smart boards or like this like a remote class, or is it all in person?
Yeah, so depending on what credits the students need, we do have like a virtual option where Bethel's our
Okay.
hub of our area, and it's about 4,000 people, and that's where the center of our school district is.
Yep.
And so they'll have like VTC, like Zoom type classes, and then um, in terms of technology and stuff, we use MacBooks, which I'm a Mac guy, so
Me too.
we have smart TVs, smart boards, we have it all, which is really incredible. Our school district gets the funding to be able to incorporate some of those things.
That's awesome. What about
Yeah,
sports?
yeah. Oh, yeah. So, um, we do have sports. There's no like football or anything because we're on the tundra,
Right.
like barren tundra, so you can't have a football field out there. But
Yeah.
basketball reigns all up here.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we have like mixed six volleyball. I've coached both of them. I did volleyball for 3 or 4 years, and then I coached the junior high basketball team up here. Didn't even play basketball in my life. I played football and
Right.
baseball, and had to learn that quick. And now I absolutely love basketball. I wish I would have played in high school.
I let's see. I played basketball when I was younger,
Yeah.
but I actually played basketball when I lived in Alaska, in Sitka actually. I like your hat.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Basketball reigns king because like you can control the weather indoors, not so much
Yeah.
outdoors. But
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like some of the things that I've got to experience with that is like a typical, like in the schools in Wisconsin, you're on a Thursday night, you're taking a bus and going to play. Here
right,
it's everything's on the weekend. So like on a Thursday night or Friday night, we'll fly into another village with the bush plane, stay there for a night or two, play basketball against all the teams that made it in, and then repeat the next weekend. And so
right,
whether it's flying or we'll take the ice road sometimes,
yeah. We took
or
the
snow.
ferry. We took a
Okay,
ferry to like Juneau when I was up there. Whole
okay,
school on one ferry.
that's
It's
crazy.
like,
So I didn't, I guess maybe I did know this about you, but you lived in
yeah,
Alaska for a little bit.
yeah. I went to school there for my sixth grade year in
Okay.
Sitka. Yeah, but like I would pop up there. Half my family, like my dad's side,
Okay.
like, they're all from there. That's where I was born. And
Okay.
then when my parents split up, I came back to Wisconsin. But I would like periodically go back and forth with like the summers, and then work on
Yeah.
some like gill netting boats and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely. So you've had the taste of Alaska. You know what it's like
I've
up
had the
there.
taste.
Yeah.
It's man, Alaska is gorgeous
Yes.
in the spring and summer. The winters, man, with the darkness, it was hard, and I'm sure I would love to hear your insight on that because you
Yeah.
probably get way more darkness than Sitka.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Well, first and foremost, that's cool that I've been to that region. I haven't been to Sitka, but I've been
Yeah.
to Juneau. Absolutely gorgeous area.
Oh yeah.
Just incredible. That's the thing about Alaska is like you go to any part of the state and it's completely different than where you were, you know,
Right.
the previous plane ride. Um, but yeah, in terms of darkness and stuff, at the peak when it's the solstice, like it'll be like 10:30, 11 when the sun comes up, and then it's about 4 p.m. when the sun's going down. And
Yeah.
thankfully we're on winter break during that, like right around that time, so we're back in Wisconsin, and um, so we don't get we get about 3 weeks away from that darkness, and it
Yeah.
is it is life giving for sure being down in Wisconsin during that time and getting that sunlight and everything. But and then in the summer when we get back in late July or early August, it's completely flipped. Like 1 o'clock, it gets it's still twilight, and then
Right.
it's sun's coming up around 4 or 5 o'clock. It's pretty wild. But I at first it was difficult, but now I'm just kind of used to it, and
Oh yeah, for sure.
so
You adapt.
yeah,
You know.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, we don't get a lot like this time of the year. It's beautiful out right now. It's like 15 degrees and just not a cloud in the sky, sunny, gorgeous. This and we're gaining like 5 6 minutes of daylight a day right now. It's just crazy how fast in the fall you lose it, and then in the
Right.
spring, you gain it. So
Yeah. I guess I want to circle back and ask you what got you into teaching. Were any of your family members teachers, or you just
no, no.
gravitated towards it?
Yeah, so I originally went to Stevens Point because in my mind um I wanted to become a conservation officer. And Stevens Point was the natural resource
Oh
school
yeah.
for that. Awesome program, whether it's that or their education program. But about halfway through, I it was in my mind like, do I really want to work outdoors every single day? And am I gonna enjoy doing the things that I do, hunting, fishing, just being outside? Because I feel like a lot of the time you're dealing with some tough situations, and that might take a toll on you when you're in that kind of position. So
Yep.
I had really great teachers throughout my whole life. You know, I think about Frederick when I went there for the 2 years. I think it was Miss Sorensen and Mr. Obi. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yep.
yeah. So you still remember your teachers to this day, and that
Oh
was I
yeah.
don't even know how many years ago, 20 years ago. And um, in high school I had phenomenal teachers, and it was just kind of always in the back of my mind. So about halfway through, I decided to switch, and I had all these science credits from my natural resource background, and I guess I'm like science teaching it is, and I'm glad I did
Yep.
because I never would have ended up up here in this position. So
Right. I feel like we'll get into this later, but I feel like with your YouTube channel and stuff, like you look right at home.
yeah, yeah. It takes some, there's a lot of moments early on when I felt like I was honestly 12 again, learning some of these things. I'm in my early to mid 20s, and I was like intimidated going out and experiencing some of the things. 'Cause it's like we're going camping for, you know, 3 4 days up by the Yukon River, and there's no one around. Like if you were to get into some sort of accident where you rolled your ankle or broke your leg or something, it's like how am I going to get the help I need? So there's a lot of things where it's like, holy cow, I'm learning a lot of new information and fast, but I'm starting to build that confidence where I can be more autonomous and go out and do the things that I really enjoy doing up here. So, but yeah, it
Yeah.
was intimidating at first for sure.
Oh, I bet you're in the middle of
Yep.
nowhere.
Yep.
But let's
So,
dive into your YouTube channel.
yeah.
I I'm so curious about this because I just started this YouTube journey, and how long have you been doing it? Your channel, by the way, is Outdoors with Bo, right?
Yep. Outdoors with
Yep.
Bo. I've been doing it since I think 2021. The whole idea behind it was I'm like terrible at documenting things and like experiences and like taking photos and stuff. So
Yeah.
like the idea behind it was like, man, like I don't know how long Leah and I, my wife's name is Leah, we're gonna be up here. Maybe I should start like filming this. So I got the idea of getting a GoPro. I love watching YouTube. Like I have a lot
Oh,
of
same.
lot of channels that that's like my TV. I don't
Oh
really
yeah.
watch anything
Eh,
else. Yeah.
exactly.
And so I'm like, why can't I start something like this? And it was scary at first. Like, I don't know how to talk into the camera. I don't know how to edit.
Yeah.
I don't know how to, like what to look for, what to do. And so I
But
started,
you
go
can
ahead.
always learn that on YouTube. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
dude,
exactly.
everything's on there.
Yeah. So, uh, 2021 I started. The idea behind it was like my family and friends back in Wisconsin can see, some of the things that I'm fortunate enough to experience up here. And then when I go back to Wisconsin, my students can see the
Yeah.
things that I, grew up doing because you're
Yeah.
comfortable with it. Like I have no
Yeah.
problem going down the Namakagon River for 3 days, 2 nights because I grew up doing
Yeah.
it. I have no problem going exploring a new trout stream or um, going turkey hunting public land, whatever it is. And so that was the whole intent. I'd never really been in it for like, oh, I want to create this huge channel and it'd be cool if it ever got to that. But
Yeah.
that's never been my intention. My intention is just to be able to share my experiences and honestly, during those dark months, like you were talking, it gives me a hobby, and so
Oh, for sure.
that's why I started doing it. And I've been lacking a little bit lately. I having a hard time finding the time to film, but I'll get some
Yeah.
videos made this spring, and we'll get it back up and rolling. So
Perfect.
yeah,
I Michael actually was like, when we started Two Scoops, he's like, what are your plans with this? Like YouTube in general, starting this? And I was like, I don't know, man, it's fun. And he basically was like, that's a good way to put it. Like, it's fun for you right now. Do it until it's not fun.
yeah,
You got it, man.
yeah, 100%. And the most
Yeah.
wild thing about like starting this YouTube channel is like I've had like some of the best success, however you want to rate success in the outdoors, but like
Yeah.
some of the craziest things that I have done has happened on film, and I'm like, man,
Oh, that's the best.
yeah, I'm like, I'm so glad I started this, and I don't know if it's just like I'm on this crazy like luck train or um if it's just I don't know. There's just good vibes with it, and I'm gonna keep it rolling, for as long as I
Yeah.
can. And like I think the craziest thing is even though it's not a very big channel, I think I have like 625 subscribers or something like that. I'm like closing in on 100,000 views, which is like just blows my mind. And um, I like I said, I travel for basketball and stuff, and I have kids from
Yep.
completely different schools that I've never met. They're like, "Hey, Mr. Bo,
Dude.
we watch your YouTube channel. That's awesome." I'm like,
Yeah.
so I have like all
That's
these
great.
yeah these like students and from other schools that just know me from I'm sure research in the area on YouTube and
Yeah.
so it's been pretty cool. And um I was really nervous starting it out at first, and a lot of positive feedback has come from it. So
Absolutely, man. I love watching your videos.
yeah, I like watching yours too. Like what I
Yeah.
respect about yours so much is the attention to detail and just like the art that goes behind it. Mine is more just about documentation. Like, so I give you a lot of credit because I know that's time consuming and it takes a lot of work, but you do a
No,
great
I
job with
appreciate
it.
that. Thank
Yeah,
you very
yeah.
much.
And
Appreciate
I
that.
do think, just like everyone else said, I think you keep this rolling, it's gonna go somewhere. So
Absolutely. I'm having a ball doing it, man. It's so much fun. I like videos in the aspect like you said, like for your friends and family who aren't where you are, you can
yeah,
physically show them what you're doing. Like I love video technology right now cuz like they didn't have any of this stuff like 20 years ago for the average consumer.
yeah,
So it just makes it man, I love sharing videos.
yeah.
They're so
It's
great.
fun. Yeah, yeah.
But
I
you're
mean, like I said, yours are just creative, like from all the little shorts that you do to, um, I see them on Instagram, and then like even your longer videos, just the, like I said, the art that you put into it, I respect it because it is time consuming. Even like the videos I make, like I'll
yeah.
spend, and they're, like I only have my GoPro, maybe two max running at all times, and even
Yep.
editing a 20-minute video takes me half a day.
Forever.
Yeah, it takes a long time. So,
Dude, I don't think the average person, if you've never edited a video, like you have no idea what time and
yeah.
tediousness?
Yep.
Is that a word?
I think so. Yeah, we'll roll with it.
Tediousness?
Yeah.
But no, like ever since I've gotten into like really diving into videography, I can appreciate like videos more now that I know like what goes into them. The
Yep.
hours on hours of not just like editing it, but like how'd you get the knowledge to do that? Like it takes a lot of time to learn.
Yeah.
It's
I
great.
was I was watching someone that I really enjoy watching on YouTube, and it was just a podcast, like kind of hearing their story.
Yep.
And like he was talking about how people are like, oh, it's crazy you get to do this for a living. But what he was explaining is like the amount of time that goes into planning and preparing. Like
Oh
it
yeah.
truly is like for the people that do it full time, it is more than just 40 hours a week. They're
Oh
working like
yeah.
80 to 100 hours a week, I bet. It's crazy just
Yeah.
by trying to go out there and get the content and then, of
Right.
course,
And then the
editing and
logistics of it, yeah,
yep,
like how to set up the plan and then, scheduling posts,
yep,
the whole mental drain of the creative side.
yep,
It's boom.
yeah,
It's so much.
100%.
But I love it. It's
Yeah,
great.
it is fun. It is
Let's
fun
keep
and
on
it's
this YouTube train.
yeah, yeah. I know, and there's not a lot of people in like this region of Alaska that I've found that makes the type of videos I do, and then not really in Northwest Wisconsin either. I know, you have like Tom Boley, you have Wisconsin Fisherman, I know,
Yep.
which I grew up with, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool. He's got a
I
pretty
just
big
went
channel.
just went fishing with him a couple weeks
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, and he knows what he's doing. I mean, he gets
Yeah.
on fish, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anyone else really that I know in the area. It's really just those two.
Yeah.
I know Tom Boley's more Hayward, and um, Kyle is more the Spooner area, Spooner,
Yeah.
Trigo, that type of area. But I know he goes all over, and so I don't know. And then I don't really know of anyone over by Frederick, Grantsburg, Siren area that's creating the type of videos that you are.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I
I
think
haven't seen anything. I do a lot of research.
yeah. I know my cousin. My cousin works at Shotgun Willie's like Coyland area,
Okay,
and Breck, if you're watching this, uh, he's getting some good videos out, like content wise for Shotgun Willie. So
okay.
had to give him some credit.
That area out there, I grew up
Yep.
trout fishing and like deer hunting. That area is so gorgeous of
Love it.
Wisconsin. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, just northwest Wisconsin in general. Like, I really love Alaska, but I still tell people to this day my number one state is Wisconsin just because
Dude.
I grew up and like I don't know what it is. It's I always have this like draw to come back to it, and
Yeah.
we will when the time is right. But yeah,
Yeah.
I just love that area.
Dude, I think I got experience in this area too, where I've lived in Alaska and traveled around everywhere in the states working, and I
Yeah,
love our area the best.
yeah,
But Alaska is a very close second.
yep,
Like,
100%.
but extreme goods, extreme bads.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Wisconsin is just like
It's mellow. Yeah, yeah. Like there's some of the craziest things I've experienced in Alaska, whether it's like weather, outdoor adventures, just it keeps you gotta be careful living here for sure. I mean, like there's
oh,
times where
absolutely.
it's -30, -40 for a week straight, and I
Yeah.
literally just walk to the school and I come back. Like I don't go out traveling
Oh
anywhere.
yeah.
It's just too dangerous. So, um,
Is there
but
any
yeah,
special? Oh, go ahead. Sorry about that.
no, I was just gonna say Wisconsin's pretty mellow for the most part. You
Right.
get once in a while,
Oh yeah.
like I think about the siren tornado and stuff, but weather-wise,
Oh yeah.
bad thunderstorm here and there, but it's pretty tame.
Yep. So when you're out on your adventures, filming your content and stuff, is there any like equipment that you use, like the Garmin? I don't know, some kind of like beacon, like SOS signal you can pop and then, you know, get first responders to you that way. Is there anything that
Um,
you carry with you?
I don't specifically carry anything like that. I've tossed around the idea of getting a Garmin InReach, which is
That's what I'm talking.
ki-
Yeah.
yeah, kind of um the way to communicate if there was a true emergency situation.
Right.
Um, for me, I have a Garmin like 64 ST that I bring on my boat, or on the snow machine to be able to, if I'm going out doing something. Yeah, we say snow machine up here, by
I
the way.
love that
Or
you
it's a,
say snow
yeah,
machine because everyone gives me
yeah,
dogs on me, especially
yeah,
my wife.
yeah, snow machines
Yep.
for sure. But, yeah, so I'll carry that with me just to kind of get an idea of where I'm going. To be honest, like a lot of the things that I do, I'm usually with someone that I trust. Like I'll
Yeah.
go out like hare hunting or ptarmigan hunting by myself, and I'm within 20-mile, radius of the village. Like I feel really good about doing all that. But if
Yeah.
I'm like going up during, like on a winter moose hunt, or during the fall when we go up moose hunting by the Yukon. Like I'm usually with a group of people, so I don't really feel the need. But if I were to go solo, for sure, I would
Yeah,
carry
that's
that
smart.
just in case of something, because weather can change
Right,
so fast up here, and you just never know if you're going to be caught in a blizzard or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I've tossed around the idea for sure, for sure.
right. I was just curious if you had, because I've seen Jay Siemens talk that up pretty good,
Yeah,
which is cool because they're tiny. They're
yeah.
like the
Those
size of
little,
my mics.
you're talking about those little in reaches, those little
Yeah,
Garmin. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. That's nice. You got a group of buddies that usually go out with you with these hunts and
yeah, yeah,
excursions, so that's kind of cool.
yeah. I'm so our maintenance guy here at the school. He's I've taught his students, which is funny.
Yeah,
It's kind of a unique relationship because he's like in his mid 40s. So he's like kind of like an uncle figure to me, like where he's taught
yeah.
me a lot, but we're,
Uncle.
yeah, yeah. So, but he's taught me basically everything. And then I have a couple people my age that I go out hunting with and have, taught me a lot of things. And, um, yeah. And out here, it's super unique because it's truly like one of the last places in, um, North America where it's a subsistence lifestyle, where it's living off the
Yeah,
land, hunting, fishing, gathering. And, um, so even just learning those things has really helped us, making sure we have, moose in the freezer or salmon in the freezer, and really truly living off the land, which is it gives you a whole new perspective on life, man. Like
right.
hunting and fishing down in the lower 48, I know people, um, fill their freezers and stuff,
Yep,
and I know there's a lot of people that do it the right way. Uh,
yep.
but it's not recreation up here. It's
No,
like this is we
we
need to
need to
go
do
out for the,
this.
yeah, we
Yeah,
need to go fall because there's no grocery stores in our village. We have a
yep,
small little store that'll have frozen goods and
yep.
canned stuff and things like that. But so it's really changed my perspective on hunting and fishing, and um it's been really incredible to experience it through that lens. So
Right. So how does you said subsistence,
yep,
fishing and hunting. How does the license work right there? Now I know there's a difference between like your non-resident and resident.
yep,
But so what is a resident? If you've lived there more than a year, you're
yep,
considered a resident.
correct.
So do you have to buy a license to subsistence hunt and fish, or does it just you do you, man?
Yeah, so yes, like for like a resident tag for me is, I think, like $60, hunt, fish, trap. And then you get a harvest, you get like moose harvest tickets with it.
Yep.
So if you want just hunting, it's like $20. And then depending on if you're trying to do like subsistence tags and stuff, there's like subsidized tag prices and stuff, or license prices and stuff, where I think you can get them for even cheaper than that. So yeah, that's the way, you know license work out. And then there's also like a difference between, like, there's state land out here and then there's federal land, and you have
Yep.
like the state regulations on hunting and fishing, and then you have federal regulations, and so you just got to make sure you're in compliance with them. And just to be safe, like in the spring we have a subsistence, like subsistence
Isn't that a
moose in.
weird word? Oh,
Yeah,
it's so tricky.
I know, I keep saying it.
I
But
know.
you have like a waterfowl hunt, and so like just making sure you have your stamps and stuff. You don't need your federal stamp because it's on federal land, and you need your
Yep.
state stamp, I believe, or it could be opposite. I have to look at it. I do it every spring, but just to make sure
Yeah.
you're following the rules and regulations. But um like fishing wise and stuff, if it's subsistence, I don't believe you need like a sports license. You
Yeah.
can just go out fishing. I know hunting is a little bit more like making sure you know you're following those things.
Yeah. I remember when I was finally had my 1 year, so I was considered a resident. I went dip netting,
Yep.
like just scooping sockeyes out.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Where'd you do that out of?
Sitka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I don't know what river outlet it was, but yeah. Then I had a huge bear kind of get the jump on me, but not a big deal, I guess. My I think I said the story a couple podcasts ago, but yeah, it's like giant brown bear just came out of the brush and like I'm like trembling. Like this thing is like 15 feet away from me. Trembling. I can smell it. I can like feel its breath. Huge. There's monsters that live there. And then my
Yeah,
uncle just like grabbed me and he's like, "What's the problem?" I was like,
yeah, that's
"That is the
crazy.
problem." And he was just
I
like, "He's here for the same reason you are. Don't mess with him. He won't mess with you." That
yeah,
was not a big deal. All right, guys, quick segment here. We're going to thank some sponsors. First off, there's Fights Backwoods Beer and Bait, located in Fallen, right off of 70. If you can show him that you subscribe to my channel and like his Facebook, he'll give you 10% off anything in the store, except for booze. Then there's Ken's Affordable Auto and Siren, not just a dealership, he also fills propane tanks. Then we got Throttle RX in Danbury. If you're looking at exploring the Northwoods, you can rent his side-by-sides or pontoons, and if you use the code 2scoops, you'll get an exclusive discount. Then there's Leaf and Lumber Construction, specializing in decks and fences. So I'll leave everyone's link in the description below, and thank you. Back to the show.
I got a bear story for you too. I was fishing on the Kenai Peninsula, towards like the Soldotna area, and I had my wife with me, and then my little cousin. We did like a family trip before we went back for the school year. This was a few summers ago, and I'm casting my spinner and thinking nothing of it. I look over to my right, and like 20 yards, just like one of the biggest black bears that I've ever seen. Like it had to have been a huge boar, and
Yeah.
goes swimming right by me, goes up on the shore, looks at me, and I'm like, what do I do? I just stood there. And then it ran in, and I could see my cousin fishing. I didn't want to alarm him or say anything, so I just stood there and watched it to make sure. And yeah, it just went on about its business, and I'm like, wow, that was a close call.
Freaking bears, man.
Yeah.
Would you say, out of all outdoor activities, hunting, mainly just hunting, fishing, is there one that you gravitate towards more?
Yeah, there's two things that I absolutely like. I just can't get enough of. Honestly, my number one thing that I think I love to do the most is turkey hunting. I'm obsessed
Yeah.
with it. Yeah, and I don't get to do it much, which is hard. That's like I get
Is
back
there
and I
turkeys
have
up
like
there?
no, there's no turkeys. It's the only
Oh,
state
okay.
in yeah, every state besides Alaska has turkeys. So,
Shoot.
even Hawaii has turkeys. So, um, yeah, I'm obsessed with it. I can't get enough of it. And then I would say the other thing is moose hunting. Um,
Moose hunting.
yeah, the thing about moose hunting is it's a big like there's so much planning and things that go into it. It's almost overwhelming sometimes.
Yep.
Um, it's like okay, if we get one, you know, we got to pack it out. Who knows how far
Right.
that distance is? And then it's like as soon as you pull the trigger on a moose, this is when the work truly has begun. And it's a process like from pulling the trigger to finally getting it to freezer. It's like, you know, and then especially in fall when it's warm, it's not super warm. It's like mid 30s, 40s. Um,
Yeah.
it's getting it processed in time so you don't have any waste and so like there's been times where um you know I get back from hunting on a Sunday. I think about my biggest bull I ever got back on Sunday, and then I cut till like I don't know midnight, 1 o'clock, and then I did that for the next like I get home from school and then did it for the next like 2 3 days, cut until like 3 in the morning, and then going to school the next day. I was so tired after that, but it was like
Right.
one of the most rewarding things that I've ever done, outdoors wise. So
I've always wanted to try. I've had a moose, like a meat stick, moose stick.
yep,
I've never had like a moose steak.
yeah.
Is it anything like venison?
um, it's moose is like I've had a lot of different wild game, and moose is probably my number one thing to eat. I've had
Is
elk,
it?
I've had
All
deer.
right.
Yeah, yeah. It's very it's like lean beef, honestly, the way to describe it.
Right.
It's not gamey at all. If you get a bull towards, the back end of the rut, they have a really
Yeah.
musky smell that is unlike anything you've ever smelled in your life. But um, yeah, they're not gamey at all. Like venison, in my opinions, and I love venison. Like I
Yeah.
don't mind the gamey flavor or anything like that, but it's venison has a stronger flavor to it for sure. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
I like it. Yeah. I would say venison is probably my favorite wild game. No. Take that back. Give me a juicy grouse.
yes,
Do you have
grouse is
grouse out
good.
there? Do you
Yeah,
have
we
grouse
have
up there?
we do as you get so the Yukon River flows about it like dips down into the Yukon Kuskokwim Delta. That's where we're located. And so it's about 60 miles north of us. And when you get up there, it's more like boreal forest, spruce trees and stuff. So we have spruce grouse up there. I've never got one
Oh
personally,
yeah.
but um, I don't think there's rough grouse. I think it's just spruce grouse. But there is rough grouse and spruce grouse in Alaska. And then where I'm located, we have a ton of ptarmigan. So I go ptarmigan hunting all the time. Like I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna go out tomorrow or Saturday if the weather allows. So
I think that was the last video I saw of yours, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
On the snow machine.
Yeah, I was Arctic hare hunting, which
Duh. Yeah.
Arctic hare are they're like a snow kangaroo, dude. They're huge. I don't know how else to describe it. When I
Who?
first yeah,
How do
they're
you cook
huge.
those? How do you
Uh,
cook those?
so if you think about I don't know, you think about like a snowshoe hare, they're probably
Yep.
like they're not huge, but then you get like I'll hold an Arctic hare up by my shoulder over here, and it'll be
Yeah.
hanging down to my ankles. So it's like you quarter it up like a deer, and you
Yeah.
take the back straps off, and you front leg, back leg, just take all the meat off, and then what Lee and I like to do is we'll put it in the crock pot and do like
Oh.
a different crock pot recipe. No game flavor whatsoever. Like it is so good. Like it really surprised me. Like snowshoe hare, they have kind of a gamey, kind of willowy type taste because they eat willow buds.
Yep.
Where their habitat is. Um, but yeah, the Arctic hares are awesome. Like I want to make sure I think the first time I went out was last spring. So that was last year. I just finally
Yeah.
had time to edit it. But
Oh.
yeah, I want to get out and do it again because they are really good. But like you only need one or two of them, and that'll last you. Cook a front leg and a back leg, and then do it again a week later. Put it in the freezer. So
Right.
you don't need too many of them.
Dude, it looks like a blast.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun.
So is there anything else like unexpected that you've encountered when you're out on hunts? Like not just bears, but like maybe like another group of people or
Um, Honestly, I think
wolves?
about no, we haven't ran into wolves. One of the most unexpected things um that I've ran into. So this actually happened last fall, and uh, so usually when I go moose hunting, what I'll do is I'll take Labor Day weekend, which is not really a prime time to go because it's like 2 weeks before the rut, and so bulls aren't really responsive or anything like that. It's more like you just got to get lucky that they're crossing within a packable distance of the river that we go on.
Yeah.
Um, but a lot of time that Labor Day weekend, the black bears are still out, and so I've been a part like 2 falls ago I got a black bear, which is really awesome. And so the black bears are out, so like we'll go bear hunting slash moose if it presents itself and we have an opportunity.
Yep.
But where we've been going hunting, we haven't seen any brown bears. In my 8.5 years up here, I've never seen a brown bear up there. And so we get up the first day of camp and we go up to the glassing tower because a lot of these different camps they've been used for
Yeah.
generations, and so people will build like a tower, a glassing tower, because it's all flat. I mean, you
Just for
got
like
elevation.
spotting scopes, right?
Yeah, yeah, like
Okay.
binoculars and stuff, and we're hunting right along the tree line of the Yukon River, so that's where a lot of a lot of moose and bears and different game. That's where they live and their habitat. And so we get up there the first day, and I was going hunting with one of my former students. It's the maintenance guy. His son, who's now in his early 20s. So now we're like, I used to teach him, but now we're like kind of friend. I don't know. It's interesting, but
Yeah.
um, so and then I had another teacher that really enjoys hunting. His name is Bailey, and we had the younger brothers of Sinka, the person we're hunting with, and
Mm-hmm.
we get up to the glassing tower, and right away we spot a bear, and I was behind him because I was getting like camp settled up. I just got done cooking breakfast, and I get up there, and Sinka's like, "There's a bear over there." He's like, "I'm gonna have you, Bailey, and his brother's name is Adolf. I'm gonna have you go around and circle towards it and see if we can, you know." I'm like, "All right." I didn't even look at it. I just glanced at it. I'm like, "Yep, I see it." And so we started making a plan, and we got there, and we got to these spruce trees on this hill, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, this this something's off here. You know, I'm thinking in my mind black bear because it was
Right.
600-700 yards away when we first spotted it. I didn't even pull up my binoculars or anything, and it was still like right as the sun was coming up, so you could just barely kind of see it in the distance. But by the time we would have got to it, you know, shooting light would have been. And so we get to this spot, and I'm looking at it, and it's just walking weird, like just completely different than,
Okay.
you know, acting different than what a black bear would. So I pull up my binoculars and I see just a massive hump on its shoulders. And, you know, a brown bear, they have more of that hump on their back, where the black
Yeah.
bears, you know, they're flat. I'm like, Cinca is messing with us and sent us after a brown bear. At this point, the season hadn't been open. I think it opens the next day. And so I look back at Cinca and he's looking at us. And I hold up an X like this, like
Yeah.
we're not messing with this thing. And but that ended up being like probably a well over probably 600-700 pound brown bear. I mean, the skull on it was huge. Its ears
Yeah.
were way out, like, and so we just started walking back. And Cinca's like, I knew it was a brown bear the whole time.
Ah, you
Yeah,
dirty dog.
so Cinca, we laugh about that now. I'm like, hey, that was my fault. I should have looked through my binoculars. You know, I went to
Yeah.
even, but he's like, I figured you guys would figure it out, and we were still at this point 300-400 yards away. Like, you don't want to mess with a brown bear in the fall unless you know are equipped for it. So,
I don't want to mess with brown
but
bear anytime.
no, um, yeah, people do brown bear hunt around here, but it's more in the springtime. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm more into black bears. I think I've eaten brown bear and stuff, and they're I mean, just based on their diet and everything, it's a little bit stronger flavor. Whereas black
Yeah.
bear, I mean, they're berry bears up here, so they
Oh,
eat, yeah, so they're eating blueberry, all the different tundra berries
salmon
up here.
berries. Do you have salmon
Yep,
berries there?
yep, we have salmon
I
berries.
miss
Yep,
those so much.
yep, yeah,
Mm.
fantastic. Yeah, so like all
That.
the different berries that are up here, they feed on, and so
Yeah.
their meat is, you know, like Lee and I will turn a lot of it into hamburger, and we'll make like bear tacos, bear burgers, all, you know, just things like that. So
Bear burgers. Sounds
yeah,
good.
you gotta cook it all the way through. You don't want to get trichinosis, but you
Yes.
can't do it like a moose burger, but as long as you're safe with it, they're really
Yeah.
good eating.
So if you completely cook bear,
Yep,
like not medium rare, not just
yep,
very well done,
yep.
you're good.
You're good. Yes, because
Okay.
it's trichinosis is some sort of parasite where it'll like lodge into your muscles, and then they make these little larvae, and then like they solidify, and then so you have it for like the rest of your life. It'll make you sick like about a few weeks to a month later, where you're
Yeah.
like puking and kind of like chills and stuff, and then so yeah, you want to make sure, and not all bears have it, but that's just to make
Yeah.
sure, you know, you don't end up in that situation. So
Oh, my
yeah.
goodness. When you were led towards that brown bear, were you filming that day or?
Yes, I was, but I didn't have the camera rolling at that point. Um, if it was a black bear and we would have continued
Yeah.
hunting it, yeah, I would have had it rolling, and but by the time we were in a situation, I had already known, so I didn't even film it.
Yeah.
And like, you know how a GoPro is, you can't see, like, that's why I want a legit camera, is like to be able to zoom in and um
Yeah.
be able to see in detail, you know, something versus just a GoPro. It's kind of like a wide angled, you know, camera. Can't see too
Right.
far in front of you.
GoPros definitely have their place though. Like,
Yes,
dude,
100%.
I do not want like some of the stuff you're in. Like, I don't want my cameras in any of that.
Yeah.
Like, that's where a GoPro shines because like you can just beat those and they're just
Yep.
fine. But
drop them in the
But
water. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Yeah, you can
but
just
yeah,
yeah. So
have you looked at any other cameras that you want to get in the future?
yeah, I have. I've looked at some like different Sony cameras,
Yeah,
just like vlogging cameras.
yeah,
And honestly, the way I've looked at them is just by watching some YouTubers, clicking on their links that they'll have in like their descriptions.
yeah,
And I've looked at it, but I'm just like thinking to myself like, um, it would be so difficult being on like a snow machine trying to, so that's why I just use the GoPro. For like more of a moose hunt and stuff, I do want to
mm-hmm.
get a legit camera. Um, it doesn't have to be anything majorly expensive, but just something that can zoom
Right.
in. There's like Sony vlogging cameras and stuff. I don't even remember the exact model. Um,
ZV-1X.
Something like that. Yes, that might actually be it. That sounds right. And then you have like Canon too. Like I think that's a pretty good brand. So I've done my research. I've just never pulled the trigger. Um, it's always like, well, if I get to this many subscribers, maybe I need to upgrade my camera. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of the way I've looked at it. But I've already spent way too much money in GoPros.
How many
Batteries.
GoPros do you have?
Well, I had three of them, but I lost one trout fishing last.
Oh,
Yeah, so I
so
was
it's in the
actually
bottom of a river
it's in the
somewhere.
bottom of and I spent like I think it was a GoPro um 10 or a 9. No, it was a GoPro 9. Um
Oh,
yeah, so I have a GoPro 11 right now, which is what I film most of my stuff on. But I have an 8, a 9, and 11, and then I lost that GoPro 9, and I was really
ah,
bummed because and I spent like one, I feel bad because it's floating in a river, and like I try to
right.
treat the environment with respect,
Yeah.
as much as I can, and so I spent out like an hour, hour and a half, and not only did I lose the GoPro that day, I had a nice stringer of trout, and as I was looking for the GoPro, I lost my stringer of trout. My stringer came
No.
untied, so I came home to Leah at her house in Trigo there, and I'm like, Leah, I just had one of like the worst fishing days of my life. Like,
Yeah. I
I'm a,
won, lost all the fish and a
yep,
GoPro.
yep. So I just felt like the worst outdoorsman YouTuber that you could find. That GoPro is probably on, it's tumbling in the river. Would have probably got
Yeah.
some cool footage, but so yeah. So I only have two right now. I do want to get an actual camera, and maybe that's something that I look into before next fall moose season to create like just a legit moose hunt video. So
Yeah. Is there any like I know we both watch YouTube and I think I know the answer to this question, but is there anything content creators that you kind of get inspiration off of? Like I know we talked
yeah,
about like Jay Siemens and stuff, which is one of
yeah,
my all-time favorite
yeah.
YouTubers,
I
but any
I
other
watch a
ones?
lot of Jace. Yeah, I watch a lot. So like it goes in seasons. It's funny.
Yeah.
Like in the fall, I'm always watching hunting, and
Yeah.
then ice fishing comes around. And up here, you only get a short period of ice fishing time because um it freezes up and then it gets so thick the fish migrate out of our lakes and rivers around here and they go to the Kuskokwim River, which is the YK Delta, Yukon Kuskokwim Delta. So they kind of migrate out of this area, so you can't ice fish like the whole winter. And then in spring, as the ice starts to lift and it gets, starts to erode, then you have more. You can ice fish for pike or that's really in the spring. And then the fall you have burbot, which I love fishing burbot. And then
Ooh.
you have pike in the fall. So you got spring, and then spring comes around, or you have winter ice fishing, and then spring comes around. I'm watching like turkey hunting videos. So I have a lot of different content creators that I love. Like I love Jay Siemens in the winter. I mean, I still watch his videos. Like I'll
Oh
probably
yeah.
watch one this weekend if he comes out with
Yep.
one. Um, I think his videography and the way he goes about doing things is like top notch. Just
Oh,
and I love
absolutely.
Meat Eater, so he did the thing with Meat Eater with
Yeah.
Steven Ranella, and
Yeah.
I love that's like my like if there's an outdoorsman that I really look up to, it's Steven Ranella, and so he did that whole
Absolutely.
thing with them. And in the spring, I love watching the Hunting Public. Are you familiar with them?
No, not so much.
So they do a lot of like Midwest, well, actually around um around the whole country, but they film like fall deer hunting and elk hunting, and
Yeah.
then in spring they do a lot of turkey hunting throughout the country. So I watch Hunting Public a lot. I like Sam Sobey. I think his
Sam
videos are
Selby, yep.
hilarious. Yeah, so I watch him a lot. And then if you want a true like if you like need like just an idea of like a true like Alaskan experience, do you know who modern day mountain man is? Billy Moles.
No.
He's from the Turtle Lake area. There's a person that kind of does it. He does like he's been a guide for um 20 plus years, and he filmed like all of his guiding experience, and
Yep.
they're like 2 hour videos of brown bear, caribou, moose hunting. It's yeah, it gives you like real insight to what it is like hunting out in the middle of nowhere in Alaska. So I watch a lot of his videos. um
Billy Moles,
yep,
Molls.
yep,
Perfect.
yep,
Just jotted down a note. I'm probably gonna look at his stuff
yeah,
after
yeah.
this.
So um a lot of his hunting videos
Yep.
I really enjoy just because I can relate to it. I've experienced a lot
Yeah.
of those things, you know. Trying to think of anyone else. Who are some people that you like to watch? It might ring a bell for me.
Yeah. No, like I think we can agree. Like Jay Siemens by far has like the most just greasiest footage,
Yeah,
buttery smooth.
yeah.
I love his content. It's great.
Unbelievable fisherman too.
Yeah.
I mean, he has Canada waters, which makes a
Yeah.
difference. But like like the fishing is just incredible in Canada. I
Right.
don't know. Have you ever been fishing in Canada?
No, never have.
Oh man, you got to go.
Um, I really want to go to Winnipeg for
Yeah,
the greenback walleyes. Like,
yeah,
actually, one of Jay's videos, he was talking about blue walleyes, and I was like,
yep.
"What?"
I've seen
That's
that. Yeah,
yeah, that's kind
depending
of a
on like their
bucket
food
list.
source and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some weird crayfish or something that
yeah.
has I don't know. Oh shoot, my light just tipped over, just kicked it. How unprofessional.
We got all natural light from the tundra. It's so
Soak
bright
it
out.
up.
Yeah, but anyone else that you like?
I'm trying to think off the top. Oh, there's one channel that, dude, if I could mesh two channels and make it my own, it would be Jay Siemens and Trent Palmer. Did we talk about this?
Um, you might have mentioned
Ah,
it, but I don't know who Trey Palmer is.
Trent Palmer
Or
is
sorry,
this.
Trent.
Yep, yep. Trent Palmer is a just in aviation. He does a lot of bush bush flying.
Okay.
He lives in I think either Utah or Arizona, but dude, he has some phenomenal. Like he flies drones for like big movie productions and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like if I could mesh those, like backwoods flying, like put some skis on and go to remote lakes and film out of it and like ice fish.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
great.
And you, if I'm not mistaken, I think I've seen this. You have your pilot's license, right?
Yep, my private license.
Right.
But like,
So,
don't. It's just it's just for fun.
yeah.
Yep.
Huh? What's stopping you from getting into a 207 and dropping some holes into the ice?
Money,
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
So
Spendy.
yeah, it's so expensive.
Yeah.
But no, that's about the two main. Oh, dude. Okay, one more little shout out. This is completely off topic, but I like this guy Matty Matheson.
Okay.
Oh man, I was hoping you'd be like, I know him.
No. No.
He's this just crazy, insane, fully tatted up chef. He's very boisterous. He's a little much, but I get a kick out of all his videos.
Yeah.
But
Have you seen Outdoor Boys at all?
no,
Oh, I'm telling you right now,
I'm making a list of all these.
he is the goat with GoPros. He's like one of the biggest YouTube creators out there,
I
man.
know him. Yep, I
Yep.
know him. I'm
And
looking at his face right now. Yep.
yep, the most wholesome, like nicest man. So not only is he like super wholesome and nice,
Yeah.
but like he films everything on a GoPro, and then he just does some of the wildest like survival um you know treks in Alaska, and then
Yeah.
films all over Alaska, goes all over the world. Like it's really cool. And so like that's like Leah and I will wake up on Saturday morning when he drops a new video, and we'll
Yeah.
get our cups of coffee, and well, I'll drink a cup of coffee right for now,
Yeah.
um and then we just that's like our guilty pleasure watching Outdoor Boys. It's
Yeah.
good, and it proves that it can be just done with GoPros, and
Dude, it can. It
yeah,
can. And honestly, so like there's a lot of good stuff on GoPros and have you looked into any of the DJI models of like the GoPros, like the action models?
yeah, those action cameras. I haven't looked into
Those are
them too
pretty
much.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The other thing I wanted to experiment with is a drone. Like, there's a part of me that's like, I could do some really cool shots with a drone. Um, so I know I'm like in this weird space of I don't like my main goal out there is to go hunting,
Yep.
but now I'm like I don't want to just
Dude.
hunt. Like I want to make a like video and produce
Yep.
something that's really cool, and so it kind of takes away from the hunting, but that's okay.
Yep.
I don't, I've already gotten plenty of ptarmigan in my life. I don't need to
Yeah.
get, like it's just about creating something cool and sharing it. And honestly, what I love about it most is like my kids constantly ask me, in school, hey, can we watch your new video and stuff? So like
Yes.
that's the reason you do
That's
it.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
but yeah,
Get into
you got
drones. Do it.
yeah, yeah, I bet you it's a blast. So you got to check out or Outdoor Boys. Yeah, his videos are awesome.
I think
So
I've seen them more on Instagram, like
like
shorts
yeah, yep,
stuff.
yep.
Yeah,
You
I
see a
don't think
lot
I've
of
ever
that.
seen a full on video, so I'll have to treat myself after this.
Yep. And then who else? There was one more that I wanted to just um so I don't know if you know who these guys are. They're kind of goofy goobers, but I love watching their videos sometimes. Do you know Flair?
Flare,
Flair, yeah. So like
just FLARE.
yeah, Flair. And then Mindak Outdoors. So like
I know Mindak. Yeah.
yeah, so they
Oh
film,
yeah,
yeah,
I know
yeah.
them.
So they're kind of immature and stuff, but
Yeah.
I mean, well, not immature. Like they're just funny. Like it's a
Yeah.
blast watching them, and yeah. So Leah and I have been watching Flair for years. It just
Yeah.
brings us entertainment, and I don't know. So those are really the channels that I watch.
Yeah. With filming your YouTube stuff, all your outdoor stuff,
Yeah.
dude. What are some of your struggles with filming yourself? Like,
Um.
because I know that's a huge issue with me. Like, it's
Yeah.
so tedious.
One of the biggest struggles I have up here, so it depends on where I'm at. Like in Alaska, it's batteries dying because of the
Oh
cold.
yeah, cold.
Like, yeah, I'm cycling through batteries. My fingers are
Yeah.
frozen. And then just making sure my camera's rolling. Like, I'll be driving on my snow machine. I keep it on loud so it makes the beeping noise, but half the time I can't hear it. So half the time I don't even know if my camera's here or playing or film recording. So um, that's kind of a struggle with my winter videos. In the spring, like when I do my turkey hunt and stuff, it's about again making sure your camera's running, but you can't obviously have the loud beeping noise because if you have a
Right.
tom rolling in,
Or if it's blinking.
yeah.
Yeah.
So just knowing, yeah, those are the biggest things. GoPros are pretty like if this is what I would say to anyone. If there's anyone out there that like is like, man, I think I could create some videos. I want to start recording some of the things I do, whether it's outside or whatever their lane might be. Like, get a
Yeah.
GoPro and just have fun with it. Like, they're pretty easy to operate. Like,
Yep.
the settings aren't difficult. You can, I've done like time lapses and stuff, and
Yeah.
you have fun with it. Um, Honestly, it's more about just making sure your camera's on. That's the thing
Oh yeah.
I struggle with. I don't know about you. What do you struggle with?
I I'm gonna go back a little bit with this. So when I first started doing videos, it was like years ago with exactly what you said. It was with a GoPro. And I would always get bottlenecked because I would pull my footage off into my computer, put
Yeah.
it into some I don't even know what editor I had, but my hardware with my computer like wouldn't render the files, so you're like trying to cut and stitch things together, but like your computer just cannot handle
Yeah.
those sizes of files. So I wanted to huck my computer through a window.
Yeah.
So I was just like so frustrated. Was like, I can't do this. Like, I physically can't do this. So I would say if someone is starting out, I don't know. I think maybe the computer, like what you do with that footage, if you're gonna edit it, okay. If you're just taking GoPro footage or any footage and just like posting it, like I got my shot, I'm not editing, boom, yeah, just start. It's figure out your
Yeah.
frame and just start. But if you're going a step further, like I would say, put some emphasis, put some thought between to what computer you need, what hardware you need to
Yeah.
actually create that stuff. Like that'll handle those files, because
Yeah.
that was my biggest bottleneck. And once I got a nice like professional MacBook like that could
Yeah.
handle those, then it was just like
Yep. Yeah,
learn
definitely.
every something new every time I edit something.
Well,
It's
I'm
great.
assuming that you've used iMovie before. That's what I use. I haven't even like dipped
That's
into um any of the different programs that are like legit. Not that
yeah,
iMovie, I mean, you can do some cool stuff with it, but like
yeah,
you can get even more detail with some of those programs out there. I just don't know where to go, and so I'm comfortable with iMovie, so that's all I
yeah.
use for now.
If
But
if you if it's all what you're comfortable with, like
yeah,
would I do videos on iMovie? No, because I'm not comfortable with it. Like I
yeah,
started with something, I'm gonna stick with it. I used
yeah.
DaVinci,
Okay,
and yeah, if you gave me iMovie, I'd be like,
yeah,
"What's going on here?" But vice
yeah.
versa, I'd throw DaVinci at you. You probably don't know how to use it, or maybe you do. Have you
No,
ever used it?
no, I've never used it. Honestly, I think the coolest thing though is like you look back, like once in a while, like if I run out of all the YouTube things that I've watched, like I'll go
Mm-hmm.
back and just like rewatch some of my own videos. I'm sure you do the same
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Um, which is kind of funny and weird because it's like I've probably watched this video 100 times, but I always like look back, like what could I have done better if I do a video that's kind of similar,
Ugh.
and I just kind of go with over it with a a fine tooth comb. And my first video that my first like few videos I've ever made, I look back and I'm like, oh my goodness, what was I thinking when I was doing
Oh,
this? It's almost like I still can't believe I have this on YouTube. But that's the thing is like you just keep getting better and
we're
better, and
learning.
yeah.
We're
So,
learning.
and that's the fun about it. Like
Yeah.
no one can take away the things that you know, for me, it's the
Dude.
memories that I'm making, and then you can kind of see your growth and progress, and it's
Oh,
fun to be
absolutely.
able to measure of like this is where I started and this is where I'm going, and that's what I
Yep.
enjoy about it, a ton.
What I enjoy about looking back at previous videos that I've done is like I I knew my feeling when I posted something back whenever how many months ago. Like I was like, "Yep, this is good." Boom.
Yeah,
So like I knew how I felt then, but like looking back on it now, you're just like,
yeah,
"What were you thinking?"
yeah, 100%.
But no, that's it. I like that experience, that self check of like we're growing. Like I
Yeah,
think this is trash now, but like I can see where I've gone in the future. Like this is
yeah,
great. I'm getting better at this. I'm sure you're the same way too.
yeah, yeah. Honestly, it's for me, it's just trying to find the time between um like teaching and
Yep.
um we talked about it. I'm gonna be a father in a few months, so I'm excited about that. But
Round
so
of applause, Bo. Congratulations.
yeah, yeah, I'm excited about that.
June, right?
Yep, June. Yep. So a lot of different things, but my point being,
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring it back to the idea of it just being a hobby and do it when you have the time, and if it brings you joy, uh, just keep doing it, and it
Yeah.
brings me joy. So I'm
Brings
not
me
really,
joy. Keep
yeah.
doing it.
I'm, you know, if you were in it for the wrong reasons, you're like, oh, I'm gonna take off one day and I'm gonna be the
yeah.
biggest YouTube person out there. Then you're not doing it for the right reasons. So, and
You're.
I've heard other people say the same words, and
Yep.
so I appreciate that. And it's kind of made me just think about like just do it for if it makes you happy, and that's why I do it.
I just saw a video that really resonated with me about it was about an influencer, and like pretend that this video is being shot and there's someone sitting right here filming, like the person's filming me
Yep.
doing like a product placement. So he's like, and then right when the shot's taken, he's like you could see it in his face, like this is a
Yeah.
job now, like that you hate. And
Yeah.
I was like, man, I never want to get to that point where I'm
Yes.
like feel like I'm just like not organic.
Yep.
Like that would, it sounds like hell, like you're in like content jail or something. Like you
Yeah.
have to do this, which that's not why we do it. Like it's
Yeah.
fun.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like, isn't that's the goal in life is to have fun, make experiences. Like as soon as something turns into like I think about teaching and um where I am now, that's one of the things I love about teaching. It's just not like the same every single day. Like there's variety and um just being able to have fun with what you do, and then it really like isn't a job. And um you're right about that. Like if you're sitting there and this is your job and you're doing like I feel like it would just get to the point of um it's not as enjoyable anymore. So
Right.
I don't know. But you watch Jay Siemens and it seems like he's having a lot of fun. But I guarantee you, there's a lot of stress and a lot of things that go into it. So
Oh, for sure.
yeah,
Just like anything.
yeah,
Like I don't know how you juggle so much with being a teacher, outdoor, all your video work,
yeah,
soon to be a father.
yeah.
Like I don't know how you do it.
Well, that's part of the other thing too. Is like I haven't made many videos this year because I'm enrolled at UW Superior as well, trying to get
Yep.
my principal license. So that's really taken a lot of um, time away from me being able to do it. But once that kind of frees up that space, like my plan is to get into it. I figured out this whole parenting thing, and so
And when you figure it out, you let me know.
all
Like,
right, yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know if there's you're 100% right with that.
dude, it's
So
it's awesome. Like I know, I'm sure a lot of people you'd get the same thing. Like things change. It's gonna be great. You're gonna be scared, whatever, blah blah blah.
yeah,
But like, man, I think there's something when that day happens when she or he's born. I feel like something biologically in you just like
yes.
flips because you're just like, oh man, I
Now
didn't
it's
think I
time to
could love
go. Yeah,
anything. Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't think I could love anybody as much as I love you. Dang, like,
yeah.
oh, it's so great, man. Fatherhood is
Yeah,
awesome.
I want to pick your brain about it. Like, so we're having a daughter too, and I know that
Oh,
you have your daughter. So, girl, dad, you
girl,
know,
dad.
yeah.
Yep.
And so, like, how was that transition for you? Like, just entering parenthood, and
It was very quick.
yeah, that's how I feel right now, man. We're 3 months away, and I'm like starting to panic a little bit. I'm like, holy cow, it's coming. But
Dude, it literally just puts you in a position where you have to make things work. Like
yeah,
that's it. Like there's things
yeah,
that oh man, there's things that I had no idea like with babies in general. I'm like, and thank God Tiff knows all this, my
yeah,
wife, and I'm like, so babies can't have water, and she's like, no, absolutely not. And I was like, what?
yeah,
I'm like, no one told me this. And then they're like, they can't have honey. Make sure they don't give them honey. I'm like,
yeah.
oh man,
That's so funny
what
that you
else is
mentioned,
there?
yeah, the water, the thing that you spoke about with the water. I learned that
Yeah,
like I don't even know how many, maybe a month ago or two. I'm like, I had no idea. Like, so I'm sure there's a ton of those things where it's like
yeah.
you learn as you go, and Leah and I have done a lot of reflection on kind of what we want it to look like, and our hope is like the things that we love to do, and
Yeah.
um, you know the things that bring us joy, we're going to continue doing them, and we're going to bring her
Oh,
along, and we're not going to let that, I'm sure it's easier said than done, like for sure, but like that's the ideal outlook for us is just to make sure we continue doing the things we love. And If that
Dude.
means include her in a video in a couple years,
Yeah.
100%. Like, come with me, or if we go floating down, like we love the Namakagon River.
Yes.
It's I don't know. Have you ever floated it before?
Absolutely. I love that river
Okay,
so
there's
much.
not. That's my favorite. I got it tattooed
Favorite.
right here on my arm.
Let me see it.
There it is, Namakagon. K land,
Beautiful.
yeah, K landing, and this is McDowell Bridge. So
Yes.
yeah, I don't know if you've dropped in at K before there.
I can't
Um,
remember the landing names, but
yeah.
the
So
Nemacolin is my favorite river system. Like,
yep,
I don't need to mess with the St. Croix. Like, that's too big.
yep,
Like, Nemacolin is just pristine and just shallow enough, not
yep.
like a ton of rapids. Beautiful.
And the fishing is incredible if you,
Yeah.
if once you start to figure it out. But yeah, my point being is like making sure we're bringing her down. The
Right.
Namakagon, doing those things, and yeah, it's we just want to continue doing those things, and
Right.
I'm sure we will. So
I just listened to a podcast with some friends that went fishing with on that weekend. Brittany and Jeremy Strew, and they were talking about how they see their kids with their lifestyles, and they're like, we're not changing a dang thing.
yeah,
Like, she's on this ride with us. And
yeah,
actually, our daughters have the same birthday. That was kind of cool.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, good people. They have a podcast as well that they just kind of started. They're on like 10 episodes as well. So
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah. But yes, I
Yeah,
do. I also don't want to like push things on her.
yes,
But I also like do.
yeah.
I know this is a horrible way to explain it, but
No,
like,
that's so funny because like I'll be talking about something and Leah will be like, "Remember, like it's important
yeah,
that like you let her make her own choices and stuff." I'm like, "No, my daughter's gonna be a golfer. Like
yeah,
whether she likes it or not." Yep. Like
yep. Come here.
yep.
You're gonna have a zero handicap scratch golfer by 18. We're gonna work on
Yep.
this.
Yep.
I didn't know you like
So,
golfing.
oh yeah. Well, so the thing is, I didn't because I was really bad at it. I'm still kind of bad at it, but I don't. Unless you're an absolute freak, it's hard to get good at. But I've
Yeah,
really started golfing like the last 4 or 5 years because that's what a lot of my friends in Spooner do,
yeah,
and that I grew up with. And yeah, I've I think when I first started golfing, I would celebrate if I got a double bogey or a bogey, like
yeah,
and then now like I'm this past summer I got a few birdies and like so it's like progressing, and
yep,
I shot in the 90s finally. That felt really good. I think it
yeah.
was like a 98 or a 99, but like so like this I'm on this
On eight
path.
holes.
Yeah, yeah,
Just kidding.
yeah, but no, I've improved a lot. I love it. I probably go anywhere from 10 to 15 times a summer. So we
Dude,
do this. Oh, go ahead.
I was just dumb saying, but stogies and bogeys for me.
Hmm.
Just,
That's funny.
mm-hmm.
So we do. So the guys I graduated high school with, um, in Spooner in 2012, we have a couple that joined us from Stevens Point. But it's mainly the core group of guys that are people that graduated. So I think we're going to be on year 13 or 14 of doing an annual Namakagon trip. So we go 3 days, 2 nights,
Oh,
and
that's the
then
best too.
yeah, and then we do like as we call it the CT Open. So we have a golf tournament every third. We get on the river Friday morning. Thursday we golf like 36 holes. Like we'll golf
Yeah,
all day. Before that, people take work off, and um, so yeah, that's yeah, golfing and fishing in
love
the
it.
summer. That's what my summer can. And now
Uh,
parenthood and remodeling a house and all those things. So
yes, we gotta talk about your floors later.
yes, yes, I desperately This is my call out for help because I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but we're figuring it out.
Yep. So, how do you practice? Do you practice golf there? Is there any like golf? I'm sure there's not a golf course up there,
No,
but
yeah, I think Alaska only has like maybe 5 or 6. There's a few in
yeah,
Anchorage and like a couple in Fairbanks, or maybe only one in Fairbanks. I have a little putting green in here. My wife got me for Christmas one year when I was like, because I'm like,
beautiful.
here's my issue with anything in life. When I like fixate on something, like
Yeah,
I have to get good at it.
Oh
And
yeah.
so like I started golf. I'm like, I'm sick of being like the laughing stock of our friend group, and I guess I still kind of am, but like I said, I've been improving. But so I do the putting green here,
Yep.
and then when I'm back in Wisconsin, whether it's my wife's from the Appleton Neenah area,
Yep.
I'll golf like I think you were talking about on a podcast the other one that I listened to, like just go out golf and golf 9 holes by yourself.
By
You know what I
yourself.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and that's where I've really improved. Like, no one's watching. I can work on the things I'm doing,
Yeah. Throw another
and
ball down. Whatever.
yes, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. And then like I'm always like doing the early bird specials or like the end of the
Yeah.
day specials just because there's no one else on the course. So I
Yeah.
like wake up at 6 in the morning, go golf 9 by myself, and that's where I really, um, I think I've done a lot of improvements. So yeah, we should get together and golf sometime. I'm serious.
I will hold you to it. That
Yeah.
sounds a lot
What
of fun. I love
whether
golfing,
it's
man.
whether it's that or you know, so Trigo Lake, um, so we bought a house by Trigo Lake, and we're
Yep.
right by K Landing. That's um, so that's why I asked you if you're kind of familiar with that area just north of Schooner. But we have Trigo Lake, and our neighbor owns front property. So it's like you
Yeah.
go down our driveway, and then go a little bit further down the rest of the driveway, and then it's her property. So like we can see the lake from our house.
Cool.
Yeah, if you ever want to go out fishing, I've been getting on the walleyes pretty good there in the summer. So
Mm.
one of my
That's
buddies
my
just caught
jam.
one of my buddies never caught a walleye in his life. First walleye he pulled out was out of Trigo
Yep.
this summer, 29.5 inches. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah, or no, 29, not 29 and a half.
Dude, whatever. Did he hold
Yeah,
it up like
yeah,
is this big? Like what is
yeah.
this?
I'm like, dude, you're so,
That's a tank.
yeah, you're so wrecked for this and
Yeah.
for life because you'll never. I don't know how you'll top that, but
Good
yeah.
for
So it's,
him though. That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's pretty cool. So first walleye, and I'm in the camp of like, let's take pictures, let's release. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I'm like, I know they do these like replicas, and you can do really cool things with taxidermy
Yeah.
nowadays. I'm like, dude, you have to mount this. Like,
Oh, you have to.
I I'm like,
Yep.
I've never heard or seen a story like this where someone and we caught it out of a canoe. That's the
First
craziest
one.
thing. First walleye ever, 29 inches. I'm like, and so my best friend Tyler that I grew up with, we go to Canada every year. We've been going since like 13 years old. I think the biggest walleye we've got in Canada, but amongst the two of us, is like 25 inches, which is a nice
Yeah.
fit. Great walleye. I'm
Yep.
like 29 inches right down the road from us. Like, so I'm hitting Trigo Lake pretty hard. So
If if I ever my trigger for a mount would be 30.
yes,
I don't want a replica. I want that fish.
that fish
I'm being
right
very
there.
selfish. I want that 30.
Yep,
But that's it. I'll take pictures after my 30,
yep,
but I and what we keep too is like I like those 16 to 21s. Like
yep,
I throw everything else back. Like I don't think
yep.
there's a need for it, but
I'm the same way.
yeah.
Walleye fishing is like just keep what you need,
Yeah.
conserve it for the I hope
Exactly.
I can take my daughter out one day and we're still catching walleyes like that.
Exactly.
Um, so yeah, I'm with you. It's like only keep what you need, and
Right.
that's like like when we go up to Canada, we're keeping 15 to 17 inches. Like I think you can take
Yeah.
one. Well, you can take one that's over 18 during your limit. Like half the time, I don't even keep one over 18 just because, they're good spawners. Like
Yeah.
they're ensuring the next generation. And
Yeah.
but yeah, you got to get up to If you've never been to Canada,
I've
man,
never
it's
been to Canada.
oh my goodness, it's unlike like you go walleye fishing in Northwest Wisconsin, and if you're with a partner and you catch 5, 6 walleyes, you're celebrating. You're
If you catch two in our area, I feel like that's a good night.
yeah,
Like great.
yeah,
Man.
yeah. You go out there and you'll catch. I mean, there was one year. It was early on when we would go, and when we were young, I remember one year specifically. We pulled into this one spot where we've had luck before in the past, and I go with a whole bunch of my older teachers that I had in high school because Tyler, his dad was my tech ed teacher. He's like a second dad, really.
Yep.
that type of person in your life. So they invited me to go on the Canada trip with all the teachers and stuff. And so they have all the spots that they've done well year after year.
Yeah.
Uh, we went one morning. We took off like we don't even fish during prime time, dude. We get to the lakes at like 10 o'clock and we leave by 2. Like the worst time
Just
you
a
could be
day
fishing.
bite.
Yeah, just a day bite. But like when we were younger, we'd like push like, can we wake up at like 5 in the morning and go? And we went this one morning, and today is the best walleye fishing I've ever had in my life. We pulled up against this like dead tree that was in this narrows of this lake that we go to, between
Yep.
two bigger systems, and it was like you were just vertical jigging. You drop your jig down, drop it down. It was 21, 23, 25. Like we didn't catch a single fish under 18 that whole morning, and it was like one after another. So like you're setting the hook and you're just feeling
Oh.
shoulders right away. And when once you break that 20-inch mark,
Yep.
they have that type of they just feel different, so
Yeah. Huge
but
head shakes. Like,
yeah.
oh,
Are
that's
you are
great.
you much of a like do you do a lot of fishing in the summer, or are you like ice fishing? Like that's my go-to.
I would say out of everything, like
Yeah.
hunting, fishing, whatever, ice fishing, little subcategory. Ice fishing for walleyes is
Yeah.
probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Crappies, very very close second. Like just jigging for crappies. Summer
Yeah.
fishing, yeah, I love summer fishing. I don't do a lot of it.
Yeah.
I love it though. This year, so Michael, he just got a new to him bass boat. So I think we're gonna film a lot of stuff for him this summer and
Okay.
try to get on some bass. But that's like strictly for sport. Like I don't keep bass. I don't eat
Yeah.
bass.
Yeah.
But no,
I know.
do you,
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
no, that's all right.
I was gonna say it's like I miss. That's why I watch Jay Siemens. Is I miss ice fishing so much. Like
Yeah.
it's so fun to go drill holes, set up tip ups, and
Yep.
just chase flags all day. Like those are some of my core memories with, uh,
Yeah.
you know, my parents remarried and my step siblings and stuff is like going out to. We had a family cabin that we could visit when I was younger, and we'd go set up tip ups. We'd have like flags all day and catching crappies through the ice. Like
Yeah.
absolute core memories. Um, I just say summer fishing right now because that's really I only have the opportunity to do, and I'm a big trout fisherman. Like that's like if I had a category of
Mm,
fish, it's trout first, and then it's
yep.
walleye. It's like right there. Um, but that's another thing that I get into is like I like making my own lures and stuff. So I make my own trout
Yeah.
spinners, and yeah, and we got good streams in northwest Wisconsin if you know where to
Dude,
look.
I've never I've caught trout by accident. Like,
Yep,
but one of my bucket list one of my bucket list adventures is to go for lake trout,
yep,
hopefully in ice fishing season, but I would take it anyway. I've never caught a lake trout. I think they're the coolest things. I cannot wait to do it someday.
yeah. They're
With
just
with a
missiles.
with a bow spinner.
Yep, there you go. Sahr spinners. That's what Leah and I
SAR
call them.
spinners. I'm gonna get
Yeah,
me one of those. Do you got any
yeah.
bucket list adventures?
Um,
It
yeah.
doesn't have
There's
to be
one that I
fishing. It could
keep.
be either hunting.
Yeah. So, if you would have asked me in high school or when I was, 18 going into college, like I'd have the
Yeah.
opportunity to live in Alaska, been like, you're crazy. Like that was kind of,
Right.
I never really envisioned that being the way things went, and I'm grateful. So like when I think about moose hunting, absolutely,
Yeah.
like that was the bucket
That.
list hunt, and I got to do
But you
that, and
got
like
it.
I got
Yeah.
yeah, and so I'm super thankful for that. But like that's the thing, there's always gonna be a bucket list thing because it's like you
Right.
accomplished one thing, what's next? Well, I've never been caribou hunting, and I want to do that, and I've been trying to um, find a way in my schedule to make that work. We do have caribou by where we are, but Alaska Fish and Game and the state closed it down because their population numbers are not doing too well east of
Yep.
Bethel where we are. And so when I first got here, um, it was still open, but I didn't know people within the community as well as I
Right.
do now. So I know, like looking back, if I had known them, they would have taken me out, and
Yeah.
my buddies would have taken me out. And but so yeah, I would say caribou. Fishing wise, I would say I mean, I've done a lot of salmon fishing, so that was like the first bucket list. Now would
Yeah.
probably be I'm trying to think. What is something that I I think the trout, like I was
Yeah.
watching Wisconsin fishermen and they just went up to Canada and they were lake trout fishing and that seems like
Yeah.
so fun with like a live scope dropping down and I don't
Yeah.
have any like I
I
only
don't
have like an
either.
ice chisel.
Yeah.
Like I went ice fishing over break and didn't catch a single fish on the lake that, Trigo Lake, um but yeah, dropping down and trying to ice fish for lake trout, I think that'd be a blast.
That
And
yeah.
I
But
think
and
ice
what's that?
fishing walleyes in Canada, I
Yeah.
bet you that is just a whole new level too.
Dude, and the thing with ice fishing that I I like the most about ice fishing is that it's like you can have all your buddies with you. It doesn't
Yep.
you're not just secluded to one boat. Like, hey, Bob, we're on the lake here. You can drive
Yep.
out there. It's just like a community thing almost.
Yep. The camaraderie of it.
Yeah. And
Do
I
you want to? The thing that I miss the most, like when I think about like just like hunting and fishing in general, is
mm-hmm.
and I think this is going to ultimately be like one of the things that bring Leah and I back is well, one having a kid and being around family is like the tradition of like hunting opener. Like I'm a big bow hunter. I grew up bow hunting. I absolutely love bow hunting. And I would rather bow hunt than gun hunt just
Yeah.
from like interacting with deer and stuff. But I just miss like how it used to be when you were young. Like I remember just being so jacked when it was opening gun season and we were gonna go, do drives with my
Oh yeah.
family or people that other groups and like just that camaraderie. And that's why, like you say with ice fishing, like those things are so big
Yeah.
in the state of Wisconsin. That's why I love that area so much.
It's
Have you
well,
ever heard of the sturgeon spearing over on Lake Winnebago?
I have. Didn't they
Yeah,
like shut it down after like 7 minutes? Everyone got their tags or something.
I'm not sure. There, I know that I'm not sure if it was 7 minutes. It
Yeah.
does shut down. It does like I don't know much about this, but my
I don't know either. I saw
yeah.
some stuff on socials.
So my like I said, Leah's from the Appleton Nina area, and her dad does sturgeon spearing, and Leah's even gotten like a 70-pound sturgeon before spearing, and
Ooh.
I haven't even gotten a chance to do that, and I've been with Leah for almost a decade now, and so I'm like looking forward to those things like coming back and be able to like do that tradition with her
Yeah.
dad, and but yeah, like I think there was one this year that was like close to the state record or something, like a 150
Yeah.
pound fish, or I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe even smaller, but like
Like
huge
12 feet
sturgeon.
long.
Yeah, just like crazy. So like, but that's that same type of culture of like the camaraderie and like everyone getting excited. It's like the night before sturgeon
Yeah.
spearing and people are going and having hot wings and having a beer,
Yeah.
like just that kind
Dude,
of. So
do you know what I miss? So to the Wisconsin deer opener, rifle
yeah,
deer opener. So back in the day when we were younger, it was always, and me and my wife had this conversation too, where back in the day where there wasn't, like, you'd have to physically take your deer. You had to have your
yep,
tailgate down and everything. Like if you got a nice buck, you would go to you'd go first tag it.
yep,
You'd like go to the sports store, get your tagged, and then you'd go to the bar and show it off. And
yep,
like you could go down Main Street on any town around here back in the day and see all the bucks, what people
yep.
got. You don't really see that anymore because of the
No, it's
online registering.
yeah. I think
And I kind of miss that.
that's one of the
Yeah.
things because then it's like how honest are people being too of that like with the online stuff like like if you have integrity and you're doing the right thing then that's
Right.
awesome but like we also know there's people that aren't doing it that way and that's what I really liked about it because it's like we have like real data that's true because you
Yeah.
had to go physically register the deer and um yeah a story off that my dad got a when I was in high school he got uh he calls it booner but it's not actually a Boone and Crockett buck but it's a
Yeah.
big it's like it's a big buck it's like in the
Yeah.
160s measured really well and so he always calls it booner which is funny but he's like he got that deer and I could just tell how pumped my dad was because I was hunting with my buddy and his dad on some
Yeah.
other land and um I wasn't hunting with my dad that year, and he's like, I brought it to, like you said, I brought it downtown Spooner. I think we went to
Yep.
Siren, we went to Cumberland. Like he went
Yeah.
all around, and he said it was like one of the best like memories he has in the outdoors, and so I do miss that because it's like getting everyone together and celebrating just the atmosphere and culture of what deer season is, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's what that that's what drew me to hunting and those types of memories and those core memories of when I was younger. Do
Man,
you deer
it's
hunt still?
when I can, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Um just dude, so busy. I
yeah,
like just trying to find time cuz then, you got to it's not just the hunt, you got to, take care of it afterwards.
yeah,
Obviously, But yeah, I do like me as a hunter, like I could care less about how big the rack is or anything.
yep,
Like it's just a bonus. If it happens, awesome.
yep,
If it doesn't, I want that sweet meat. That's it.
yep. And that's speaking on that. That is like one of the biggest ways my well, like so like you have meat eater, and I think
Yeah.
Stephen Rennell is kind of the same thing. Like it's like emphasizing using the game that you
Yeah.
get to the fullest. Like I love that attitude, and then living up
Yeah.
your subsistence lifestyle. Like
Dude.
literally every part of the moose is used, from bone marrow to the heart to organ meat, and like, um, you know, I think it's really changed my perspective because like, and I'm not dogging anyone for this. Like,
Yeah.
if I move back to Wisconsin, do I want to get a big buck one day? Yeah, I haven't really got a
Oh yeah.
big buck in my life. I got a couple little 8 pointers or whatever, growing up, but um, that attitude of like the most valuable thing was this animal giving me its life, and
Yeah.
then utilizing that meat to give yourself life, your family life, and that's what I love about it too. It just happens to be a bonus. So I really
Exactly.
respect that and appreciate that, that outlook for sure.
Yeah, dude. It's like just you can't waste it. You can't waste that. Like
No,
get all sappy. Like life's pretty precious,
yes, it is.
and if you're
Yep.
gonna take it, you better use it.
Yeah, and the thing that I really enjoy about the Yupik culture too is like,
Yeah.
um, where we teach, it's the Yupik people in South, excuse me, Southwest Alaska, and uh, sorry,
You're
might
right.
want to edit that out.
You're
Um,
fine.
uh, so one year, I think it was maybe 4 or 5 falls ago.
Yeah.
Um, the idea of like, and I'm getting kind of like spiritual here, like the idea
Yeah.
of
Go
the
ahead.
animal presents itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm becoming like a true believer in that like mindset and idea of like you're worthy as, and this is what I've been taught and learned from my friends and the people that mean a lot to me here in the village,
Yeah.
um, is like the animal presents itself to you, and you are the worthy hunter of being able to take that animal's life, and then honor it and respect it by utilizing it. And so, and I'll tell you why I'm a believer in this. So let's bring it back 4 or 5 falls ago. Um, I had an opportunity. I had a cow come out in front of me, and I was with Roy, the maintenance guy that I'm really good friends with. And it just worked out where I wasn't quite sure. Like, we had his kids and Leah and Corey, another teacher that I'm really close with that lived up here for 7 years. They were in one area. The moose came out of that area, and then kind of, and I just wasn't quite sure. And obviously, everything you want to do is safety first. But looking
Yep.
back, like everything was 1000% safe. Um, so I decided not to take the shot, and I explained it to Roy. Like I just wasn't sure, and like he's not. I understand that, but he's like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you're fine. Like you look at what your background was and stuff. But he's like, I'm telling you right now, you're gonna have bad luck. You had this animal present itself, and you didn't take the opportunity. So I didn't think
Oh.
anything of it. So I go moose hunting a couple weeks later because you have all of September,
Yep.
and this was in August. You have it opens in August, but you usually wait till September because it gets colder for meat care and stuff. So I go out. I think it's the third weekend of September of this year, and we're out hunting, or we get to camp, and this is like, keep in mind, this is like 4.5, 5 hour boat ride to where we're going, just south of the Yukon River, about 10 miles. And we get to camp, and we go up to like the glassing area and call the night before, because what happens, moose have, their huge antlers, and they use that
Yep.
as like they're like satellite dishes in it, so they can
Yeah.
hear you from miles. So we get done with our calling session. We wake up the next morning, and we're in the blind, and we're just listening. We're cow calling, and you can hear just off in the distance, oh, oh, and like that's literally what they sound like. And I'm like, Roy, did you hear that? He's like, no, no. Uh, I'm like, am I hearing things? Well, the morning goes on, and I went to go check out with his son a different area, and we look over, and all of a sudden you could see a bull coming through um, some pine trees and some birch trees. And I'm like, Cinca, it's right there. And at this point, it's like 300-400 yards. So we make a move on it, and we're trying to
Yep.
get closer and closer. Long story short, because I could talk about this for a long time, we ended up missing it. Both of us. Cinca took a shot. I took a
Ah.
shot. We
Yep.
missed it. I'm like, this was like our opportunity. This is like 3 weeks after this cow situation.
Yeah.
And so then I go out hunting again the next weekend, and I went to a completely different area. This is east of Bethel, towards the mountains. We have a mountain range here. Um, I think they're called the Killbuck Mountains. And so we went towards the mountains. And so I'm like salmon fishing and stuff, because these rivers are tributaries to the Kuskokwim, and this is where coho salmon go up to spawn. And we, I'm fishing, and another friend that worked at the school, his son was calling, and I had no idea he was moose calling. He was way off in the distance. And I'm casting. I look over to my right. All of a sudden, I just see a big bull walking on the edge of the river, and they like sway back
Yeah.
and forth. I was with another friend. His name's Watley. I'm like, Watley, right there. Well, while I was fishing, we had snow coming down, and so I go running to the tent where my gun was, like laying like on the crotch of some willows. My scope is completely covered in snow, and this is like right by camp. This is like the most ideal scenario, because you don't have to pack it far, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so I go to pull up my scope. I can't see anything. This is the weekend after. And so the bulls started getting nervous, because they don't have very good vision, but they have great sense of smell and can hear really well. And
Yeah.
it takes off running, and Wasley ends up catching it. We say catch here in this area, as a way to respect an animal. And I was really happy for Wasley. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, but there's a little part of me that's like, damn, I had some of
Ah.
the worst luck I've ever had hunted back-to-back weekends where I missed. At this point, I'd never
Yeah.
gotten a bull. I'd never gotten a bull in the fall, and um, yeah. So I'm like, man, maybe there is something to
Yeah.
this. Very next fall, I ended up getting a really nice bull, and now it's something I can laugh back at. But I was pretty defeated. I'm like, man, maybe I'm not very good at
Right.
what I do. I was down in the dumps. I'm like,
Right. Right. When your boy
so
completely calls it out, like,
yeah,
you should have took
yeah,
that. This is
yeah.
bad luck, and then just like,
And sure enough, the worst hunting season I've ever had in my life. And so it just gets you thinking and reflecting, like maybe there's layers to this, right? And it's
yeah.
respecting the land, respecting animals. And yeah, I'm grateful for it, because my perception and the way I view hunting has completely changed forever. And I think that's a good thing. Not to go into it with
Oh yeah.
expectations, you
Yeah.
know.
Exactly.
And the same with fishing. Like, whatever happens, happens. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter at the end of the day. It's the fact that you're out there doing it. That's what matters.
Dude, you like that hits right at the core for me. What you just said,
Yeah.
because it is. It's not. It's not about for me personally, and
Yeah.
maybe you feel the same way. It's I just love being out. I love doing anything outdoors. Like I don't have to get like the biggest fish, the biggest bucks, anything. I just want
Yeah.
to be doing it. That's it.
Yeah.
If they come around, it's a bonus.
Yeah.
Let's have
Yeah. You're
fun.
100% right. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know, like when I was younger, like, and a part of it's an age thing too. Like when you're a
Yeah.
teenager, like,
Yeah.
it's different. Like now that I'm going to be
Yeah.
turning 30, 32, which is crazy.
I
Um,
know.
but like your attitude towards that kind of stuff changes. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's pretty incredible how kind of you change as an outdoors
Yeah.
person, whether you're
Comes with
um
experience.
yeah, yeah,
Comes with
absolutely.
years. We're old
So
dudes.
yeah,
What happened?
yeah,
We're
I know
having
it goes
kids.
quick. Yeah,
No, I did want to. I think we covered quite a bit, and I did want
Yeah,
to like have a little, little kind of a. I'm curious about this next question. Just kind of like finish it off, but
yeah,
with you being with you becoming a new father, daughter on the way. Congratulations again. That's
yeah. I
super
appreciate
exciting.
that. Yeah.
What are some core characteristics that you really want to instill in her?
Oh, that's an incredible question. That's deep. I love
That
it.
is deep. I would,
Um, some core characteristics. I think
yeah.
just
It could be one, two. It
yeah,
doesn't matter. Just
yeah. I think I think the profession that I'm in with teaching and
mm-hmm.
education is just about like I think my job is to help mentor and just make good people, or not make good people, but help people become better people. And
Yeah.
like if we learn things along the way, that's great, but it's just about being a good person in general. And so I think the biggest thing that I try to teach my students is, you know, develop relationships, just be a personable person, get to know people, and be honest, and um, just be who you are to your core. And so I think, when I enter fatherhood, that's going to be my advice that I tell my daughter is, you know, I want to make sure you're just doing everything you can to be a good person, whatever that may be. I
Right.
think honesty is really important. Um, respect, treating everyone kindly, like all those things. Because at the end of the day, no one wants to be treated unkind, or
No.
everyone wants to be
No.
treated with respect. And um, I think that's important, and I try to do my best to teach my kids that. And if they learn something about science along the way, and then I did my job.
Right.
So
That's perfect, man.
how about you?
Me, what I want to instill in
Yeah,
Riley through the old Uno reverse card on me.
yeah,
I would
yeah,
say honesty. Honesty is one, not just with
yeah,
other people, but with yourself too.
yep,
So I guess
100%.
integrity would kind of be in there as well. Um, Punctuality is just my thing. I'd probably
Yeah,
get there because I hate being late or tardy.
same. If I'm 5 minutes
Yeah,
early, I'm still late.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
That drives me
yeah,
nuts.
yeah,
And I think the main one that I would try to a characteristic that I would try to instill, and I don't know how I'm going to, because I feel like this is something you learn on the way, but being malleable in your surroundings, like being adaptive.
yeah,
I would almost say it'd be like you got to find your street smarts, like
yeah,
to be able to change with your surroundings, whether it be a physical or just anything. Like I don't know how to teach that really.
yeah. It's
I guess
I that is hard. It is about
yeah,
being adaptable, and kind of
yeah,
just that is hard to teach though. Like I think it's
right,
something you just kind of learn as you go. You know,
yeah.
like
But no,
going, yeah,
we'll figure it out, man. Like
yeah. I might have to call you for some ideas and tips. And I'm serious about this summer. Like if
yeah,
well, whether it's this summer or in the upcoming, summers, or like we'll see how busy this summer gets with a newborn. But like whether it's going out fishing or golfing, like I'd love to meet up. And
we're doing it. I haven't seen you
yeah,
in. When's the last time we were in Stevens Point where I was working at the pulp mill?
yeah, yeah, probably 10, 12 years ago, I would
It's
imagine. I
been
graduated. Yeah, it's been
it's
a
been a
long time.
while.
Yeah, so you had mentioned the floors and stuff. Like I
Yeah.
same thing. If you even want to come out for a day and just kind of get me started, like Lee and I
Oh
talked
yeah.
about it, like I'd be willing to work something out with you.
Oh, we're doing this.
And just kind of show me like where we are right now. And we can wrap up
Yeah.
soon, but we did all the exterior of the house. We painted. So that's what I did throughout college, is I did a whole bunch of painting. And
Yep.
so we painted the exterior, got a new roof placed on it this last fall. So like the exterior is good now. It's like the inside's completely torn up. And my
Yeah.
dad did drywall for uh like 15 years of his life, so he's like fixing all the walls. We were painting the inside. So now like the dreaded floor, we yeah, so we're trying to figure that out, but
Definitely
at least
something Leaf and Lumber can help you with.
yeah,
Shameless plug in.
there we go. There you go. Perfect. So I would love to work something out with you, and then if we make it like a weekend or whatever, and you come and
Yeah.
show me, we could do a little bit of we can get on the night bite of walleyes, go out in the canoe, like it's super
Dude,
peaceful, and
you don't need to sell me anymore. Like, I'm in. Like, this
yeah,
all sounds great.
grill some burgers, and have a beverage or two or whatever that might be. So
You gotta
you know,
bring some moose steaks.
yeah, I can. I got some locked and loaded in the freezer right now. So
Yes.
yeah, I will do that.
Well, I appreciate. I'm glad we made this work. Not in person. This will
Yep.
happen. This will happen. You're gonna get out
Yep.
here in the ice shack in the winter sometime. But
I'm
this went pretty good. I like Riverside. This works
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And yeah, I'm usually like, whether we're back for good or I'm coming back for winter break, we usually have like
Yeah.
a 3 week break in the winter, right around the holidays. So if you ever want to get out ice fishing, I know
I'm gonna do it.
you probably go in, kind of the Siren Grantsburg area. That's probably where you focus. But
I go anywhere, man.
yeah, 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 I,
We'll get something worked out with the
yeah,
winter and summer
100%.
stuff. But
Don't go to Trigo Lake during the winter. I tried that like three
yeah,
nights and I didn't catch a single walleye. Right where I was catching them all summer. But I know fish move and
just take a note. Do not ice fish Trigo.
yeah,
Done.
yeah. And don't do it during summer. There's not very big walleye in there. So put
Perfect.
that in the podcast.
You got it. Well, tell the viewers where we can find you at. Viewers,
Okay.
listeners, where we can find you at online.
Yeah. So really just YouTube at Outdoors with Bo. You can check out some of my experiences if you want there that been fortunate enough to gone through, and then on Instagram too, which I think is at Outdoors with Bo. I'm pretty sure. I don't go on Instagram a ton,
Perfect.
but yeah. So and then same thing with you. I mean, I got people that I'm sure you'll post this on social media. They can check out some
Yep.
of your videos and the things that you do.
Yeah. I'll leave all your descriptions, like
Okay.
links in this description below.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's my YouTube is just Dayton Rivera.
Yeah.
Same as Instagram, Dayton Rivera.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a little re-update sometime in the future too, when we're
Yes.
physically out here. So,
Yeah. 100%. Thank you for the opportunity to let me come on here. It was fun
dude,
being able to just
absolutely, it was good
yeah,
to talk to you
blast.
too. We haven't talked for a while.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right, man.
yeah.
We'll
All
keep
right,
in touch, and then I'll see you maybe this summer.
you got it. All
All
right,
right.
guys. If you like what you saw, like what you heard, please leave me a like, subscribe, check out Bo's channel. I'll have all his stuff linked in the description below, and we'll scoop you later.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah.